Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to Season 22, Round 7 of the RIL Championship. I'm Alex Albert, and with me tonight is David Haynes. We're here to bring you all the action from Lime Rock Park. We got some Legends cars on the track tonight for a 40-minute race. Should be exciting. Just finishing up some open qualifying right now. David, why don't you go ahead and take us through the lineup as they sit?
Yep, the faster times were set earlier in the session. The track slowed down. So what we've got now, we expect to be our grid. So on pole position, Hunter Reeve, with a great time, finds himself clear of Alexander Bueller in second. Then the row behind them is Jordan Babcock and Kyle Smith. Then Austin Burdick and Nate Franklin. Lining up behind them is Andrew Fawcett and Tom Ellison. Then Mark Antonucci and Antonio Alvarez. And Alex Coffard, then Philip Linden, then Ryan Verhulst, Daniel Bartz, Matthew Wild, Brian Beeman, Justin Lammons, Tyler Pelton, John Patrick, Shane Cameron, Justin Hall, and the only driver with a qualifying time over 1 minute right at the back is Jason Schmaus. So 22 cars. What are you expecting for this race, Alex?
Well, one thing we know for sure, 20 cars will be getting points. So 2 guys will be going home with nothing to show for their efforts tonight. Hopefully, it's none of our championship contenders. Some unexpected names at the front. Hunter Reeve sitting on the pole. That's a name we haven't seen for a while. But he's back after, I believe he said he caught space AIDS. But glad that he's feeling better. He's back here on the grid and wasting no time back to his quick ways.
Whatever that illness was, it's clearly not terminal because he's got a fair bit of speed in this car. Now we should talk about this car, the Legends Ford 34 Coupe. It's sort of a motorcycle engine of sorts up front, and it's known for dirt racing, but it does make some good road racing. And so we've got it here at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, and we've got a 40-minute race. We're going to need a pit stop probably at some point in the race for fuel for these guys.
Yeah, these cars are very versatile. I know in my local area, I just was at the track on Friday night. The guy that won the race in the Legends event had actually won an event the week before on a road course with the same car. So it's a versatile car. You can take it road racing on pavement. And as you mentioned, you could also race it on dirt. So we see now the cars are under their own control. The starters let them go. We're going to have a pace lap here behind the Porsche. So a good qualifying run out of Babcock. Babcock typically known to be an oval specialist, but doing very well here in Lime Rock, which is almost a right-hand oval, just the one left-hand turn here in Connecticut.
Yeah,
another
so
good run. Kyle
lap.
Smith up there. Kyle Smith not known, to be qualifying on the second row of road races. So good run for Kyle and Jordan here. Hopefully they can keep it up here at the front. We know Bueller will be taking the fight to Hunter right off the bat.
Yeah, it's certainly a slightly different qualifying order than we might expect as the status quo here in the Reddit iRacing League. So I think that'll give us some good racing. And if indeed the pit strategy does only call for maybe about an extra gallon or so, then you imagine that the pit stop window will be very wide. Some of these guys could come in for an early stop and then try to get some clean track or something. So that's something to look out for as well, a very wide pit window.
Yes, so if you get in trouble early, you might want to dip in, take advantage of one of those fast repairs, and get back out there and salvage what you can out of a race, which might be able to salvage a win. Anything can happen here, and as we see, now the field's under the control of Hunter Reeve, and the green is out, and here we go.
Yeah, not a huge jump there for Hunter Reeve, but still, it was his to control as they go into the first corner. Yep, and Hunter leads them through that first corner.
Yeah, Bueller tucking right in line with Babcock in third, Smith in fourth, being followed by Burdick in fifth.
Tom Ellison tries to go around the outside of Antonio Alvarez, and there's contact. That spun Tom around. He's made some contact with Antonio, lost some positions there. I think maybe that was Tom just chopping down a teeny bit too much on Antonio Alvarez, who goes side by side with Ryan Verhulst. This very difficult corner with the crest of the hill. If you keep the throttle in, it wants to get away from you. But Antonio Alvarez moves up there into 9th place.
Well, good move there by Antonio. I went back and took a look at that contact on the first lap. It looked like Antonio was all the way over the grass, giving all the room he could, and they just got together. Luckily, Tom didn't seem to hurt his car too bad, got going again, and rejoined there towards the back of the pack. As we see Fawcett making a move here in turn 1. Very strong move there on Austin Burdick. So let's try to close down that gap to our points leader, Nate Franklin.
Yeah, Nate and Andrew Fawcett both up a position from where they started. It's Austin Burdick who started 5th, who's now dropped 2 places down into 7th. So his race not off to a fantastic start, but the car's all in one piece, and there's a lot of race still to play out.
So let's turn our eyes back to the front here, just to keep our bearings on where the fight for the lead is. Coming around here, this is going to be completing lap 2, starting 3. Hunter Reeve protecting his line into turn 1. Bueller closing the gap down slightly, about 3/10 back. Babcock continuing to stay right there in the draft.
It's very close for this top 3, as it were. Alex Bueller in 2nd place was our fastest car on that previous lap, but there really wasn't much in it, with Hunter Reeve doing a 58.8 and a 58.6 for Alex Bueller. So just a couple tenths. Bueller staying in there, and Jordan Babcock not letting either of them get away. So good race for him so far.
Yeah, good. Good to see Jordan with the strong moves, keeping it up there in the front of the pack.
The sense that on that lap, Hunter Reeves got himself a tiny bit more space over Alex Bueller, and Jordan Babcock is maybe just a little bit closer to 2nd place. Very deep on the brakes for Alex Bueller. Wow, he made up a lot of ground into that first corner.
Yeah, good move there. The German always wanted to show great car control. Showed it again there.
There's a few different lines you can take, it seems, in this car. Some people making it flow really well with an earlier apex, and some people maybe getting more out of taking a later apex and getting a stronger run off the corners. Definitely through that bit of turn 2, turn 3, where the track sort of flicks back left and right again. There's a few different lines you can take, and whilst it looks like someone might be doing well, then the other car might get a better run out of that complex. That's an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on that as the night moves on.
So casting our eyes back to 6th place now, and Andrew Fawcett is holding on to that one, but right behind him is Austin Burdick, who might want to grab that position back. And then not too far behind Mark Antonucci, and then Antonio Alvarez has Ryan Verhulst right in pursuit. So those 3 are close there as well. There's a little train going on for 6th down to 10th place. That's where some of the real meat of the points are. So, I mean, if you could move from 10th up to 6th or whatever, that'd be a real bulk of the points haul is in that middle of the pack there.
Yeah, the points towards the back are, they start to just fall off 1 point at a time per position. But up at the front, it's 5 points between some of those positions.
Yeah, it's 40 points for the win, 35 for 2nd, and 30 for 3rd, I believe. So
right.
Alex Bueller is still right on the back of Hunter Reeve, and Jordan Babcock is still there as well. How strong do you think the draft effect is in these cars on a road course, Alex?
I'd say it's worth a couple tenths just based upon what I saw during qualifying. It seemed like the guys that were getting the fast times were using draft early in the session when the track was still cool. So obviously they can't cool the track down at this point, but they can still use the draft. Yeah, I would say overall probably 2 to 3 tenths per lap.
Yeah, so revvy little engines in them gives them some good racing, but the top speed isn't necessarily huge. So maybe down towards the end of the straight here, it does start to matter.
Yeah, well, they don't have much horsepower, so and they're carrying quite a bit of speed around here most of the time, so they're really almost all the way wound out. So every little bit that you can help with aiding and reducing that drag on the front of the car, it's going to help with the lap time.
They're not a particularly modern or aerodynamic shape either, are they? Even though they're a small kind of scaled down single-seater car.
Right, and we have some great battles. You guys have heard us talk before about our timing screens, and they show red boxes around all the battles. My screen is lit up. I thought it was malfunctioning. There's so much red. So we got 12th position on back here. That's what we're watching. That's Daniel Bartz being chased by Justin Hall and Philip Linden. Justin Hall, big mover so far. Let's see here. Justin is up 7 positions. And he had 8 positions now. So Justin had a poor qualifying run, but, really moving up through the field here.
Yeah, indeed. He's the hard charger at the moment. And with that kind of pace, he didn't manage to pull anything out of Daniel Bartz in the last lap. But you imagine he's moved up those positions from having a fair bit of speed available to him in that car. And he's not pulling away from Philip Linden either. So that's an interesting one there. Justin Hall's obviously kept his nose clean in the early laps. And I reckon he could still move up further. He's a good racer.
Yeah, I think that's the draft that we're talking about, though, that's helping Linden hang on. I think Hall has just a bit more pace at this point in the race, but this allows Linden to close it up a little bit and see here on the front stretch. It looks like, we have Ellison dipping in the pits. Ellison, one of our perennial championship contenders, taking an early pit strategy. That is one of his favorite maneuvers. After having trouble there on lap 1, I can't say I blame him. Let's see how long he stays stopped. Oh, and he misses the pits. Has to back it up. The HJ crew is over the wall, servicing him. He's revving the engine. And he's off. Big tire smoke. No tire. Just fuel. He rejoins. He's going to be behind, it looks like, Lamons? Yes, Justin Lamons. Ellison's going to come out behind. So way down the running order. As we see our leaders coming down the front stretch now.
Yeah, and Alex Bueller is always so late on the brakes into that first corner, but he doesn't seem to run as smoothly through the corner. Jordan Babcock, maybe not as late on the brakes, really rolls the speed through, is what I've seen, at least on the previous laps. So there's sort of the different techniques to that 2 apex corner. And I don't think one is necessarily better than the other, but you can see one would be more favorable if you're the leading car and one more favorable if you're the car behind. At the moment, Alex Bueller is sort of the meat in the middle of that sandwich for our podium.
Yeah, Babcock known to be easy on the tires, so I have to believe he's just riding here. He's going to use the draft, going to save some gas, save some tires, and then just see what these top 2 do. I don't know. It looks like anything's possible at this point for the number 30 car.
Yeah, precisely. With Tom Ellison missing his pit box there, it was a pretty quick stop, all other things considered, though. So it was 10 seconds stationary per my timings. And we'll have to see when other people come down the lane how much fuel they take on. But in the scheme of it, missing and overshooting his pit box there might have even doubled his pit time there. A very costly error.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that clock works. If it stops it when he actually came to a rest, maybe there's a couple seconds to be shaved off there. As we see Lammons now on pit road, so we can get an idea here as we see some more people starting to pit. Ooh, and as Ellison makes a move on the 09 of Pelton there into turn 1, makes the move stick with the Wawa sponsored 09 car, gets passed by the 27.
Yeah, I think Tom signaled his intentions very early, and that driver Tyler Pelton has decided, well, he's coming through, he's a bit quicker, let's not cause too much of a kerfuffle. Tom Ellison was looking to the inside line very early.
And so we have great racing here. Let's go ahead and look at the 8th and 9th place battle.
Yep, that's Antonio Alvarez and Mark Antonucci battling it out there.
Yeah, Antonucci, he's been in the league for a couple seasons now. I think he's paired up with Ellison this season, so Ellison must be sharing some of those speed secrets, or it looks like they might even have gave Antonucci the good car this week with Ellison's struggles. But good to see Mark running up, strong in the mid-pack.
We've got a couple more takers for pit lane, so Alex Coffard and John Patrick down on the lane. 9.8 seconds stationary for Alex Coffard. It was 12.2 for Justin Lammons when he came down on the lane. And John Patrick, JP, takes 11.4. So that's about how much stationary time it looks like these guys need to take on the fuel to get them to the end. 27 minutes, 28 or so remaining.
Yeah, it looks like Tom made the best of a bad situation there. Cofford, with a good stop, really only about a second quicker, and that is down to just fuel. So we always believe though that Cofford, he's one to cut it close. He's usually good on the fuel, so I think that's about the minimum amount of stop time you'll have tonight.
Yeah, and Ellison's come out and he's putting in some good laps. His last was a 59.1 and now he's done a 59.3. That's speed that's pretty comparable to what some of our leaders are doing. And definitely, that's top 10 kind of pace. So his early pit stop might be working out for him if he can find the space to put in those good lap times.
Well, if we're going to give props for pace at the moment, wow, as I go to say that, I was going to talk about Nate Franklin, but Bueller on the next lap is able to go fastest by quite a bit, 0.3 faster than Franklin, but Franklin is closing it down here on Babcock.
Yeah, it's still a blanket over those top three, and Nate Franklin's in that slight no man's land area there between
I think
top three.
The Cofford's helping him. I think that's Cofford there in front of him. I think that draft is going to help Nate get up there and close the gap.
Indeed. I guess Nate will have to think about when this draft is helping him, and maybe he could take his pit stop sooner rather than later if running by himself isn't catching him up to the top three.
Here, Bueller pulling out of line.
Can go very deep on the brakes, but not this time. He won't get through. And Jordan Babcock just finds more speed between the two apexes there. Just every time, it seems like he's got a higher minimum speed through the corner, but he's not as late on the brakes as Alex Bueller can be.
So let's go ahead and let's ride on board here with Babcock if we could. All right, as we see Babcock go up and over the hill, the car gets very light there. Your vision is obscured. You can see way up ahead. They're catching a lap car. We'll see how this is going to play into the battle. So right through here, it looks like Babcock loses a little bit of ground. Gets a good run through the final corner, though. Bueller pulls out of line, I guess, to not help Babcock's draft. I'm not sure. Babcock closes it down very nicely. Under braking, is right back in position where he needs to be, rolling the center through 1 and 2. This lap car pulls off very nice. Oh, and I believe we've had a development here.
Yeah, problem for Tom Ellison somewhere out there.
Yeah, is this
I'll
a
take a
rage
look and
quit?
see what happened.
As we ride
He's
along,
done it all
continue
by
here.
himself, Tom Ellison, I think. Looking, so lap 14, he was all by himself. He's come into the first corner, locked up the rear axle, and then slid out to the tyre barriers and destroyed his car. And that's his race over. Tom Ellison, just a mistake all by himself. We might get it on screen now, and you'll see what Tom Ellison did that's put him out of this race.
Yeah, very rare to have a rage quit out of Tom. Usually one to always stick around, get the points if he can. It's got to be disappointing on a night when his teammate running so well, Mark Antonucci.
You must think that potentially Tom accidentally used his fast repair in his first pit stop, and so, you know, day done after that damage later on.
Yeah, I have to believe that that's what happened. With Antonucci, he's back in the pack here in 15th, but he's already taken a stop, and he's the, let's see here, he's the second runner of the guys that have taken a stop. So, actually, I think Cameron maybe has stopped as well. I think maybe my timing and scoring is a little off on that, but maybe no. Well, if everything's right, Kyle Smith is the first one that's already stopped.
That's what I'm seeing as well, Alex. But I'm also seeing a great battle for 10th place between Justin Hall and Brian Beeman. I think Justin's gotten past, but Brian has not given up. He's right behind him, gets a good run out of the final corner. Will he duck into the draft behind Justin Hall? He might. They head down towards the first.
Is he going to have a look? He's looking. Is he going to make it happen? No. Little unsteady on the brakes there for the one car of Beeman.
And it's a difficult car to stop, because if you've got to make more than one downshift, like you might have to going into the first corner, it can be easy to lock up that rear axle like Tom Ellison did. Now, a great line through this next corner for Brian Beeman.
Oh, here we go.
A bit of a run on Justin Hall. Will he be able to get some
position?
Overlap?
But Hall keeping his foot in it. Car bouncing around, but still able to pull away.
Goes wide over the crest, and Justin Beeman moves through for 10th place on Justin Hall. There's a great little battle between those two drivers. Respect shown, but just better car placement and getting it towards the apex for Brian Beeman.
And here comes Bartz. He's getting a good look at Justin. And here goes Hall onto the pit road. He wants no more of this battle. He's going to get out of it, go get his fuel. So Kyle Smith here, I think he's going to be one that we want to keep our eye on. He's the first one with the gas.
Gotten through for the lead.
Oh no, let's check it out. I'll back up the front, Bueller. Whoa, and we see Babcock there starting to get a bit of a wiggle.
Out of the final corner last lap, Hunter Reeve just got wide onto the dirt, lost his run, and Alex Bueller has swung through and taken the lead decisively before the first corner.
And wow, now he's really starting to open up a gap here. He's letting it roll through 1 and 2. Coming around to lap Hall.
And so once Alex Bueller has gotten through, he's been able to pull a bit of a gap. Not too much, but more car length than we've seen before this on Hunter Reeve. And Jordan Babcock stays in 3rd position.
Yeah, Alexander Bueller has superior car control, and now that he has the clean air, I think we'll see him pull away.
And just 35 seconds or so, and we'll be at halfway in this race. And we've had about half of the field pit so far. Daniel Bart's the most recent one to come onto the lane. But our top 3, are they all staying out? They are. They should be able to go quite long on this fuel stop. And who's that? Daniel Bartz comes out of the pits in the middle of this lead pack. He's probably going to do what he can to get out of their way, but this looks like it's advantaging Jordan Babcock. He got very close behind Hunter Reeve through all of this.
Yeah, I believe they'll be able to stay out for another 10, maybe even 15 laps. It's Babcock with a great run tonight here. 1.3 seconds off of the leader. Only a half a second off of Hunter Reeve. Keep the fight up, Babcock.
Yep, and that livery on his car tonight, it's the Steelers, his absolute favorite team in the world. So good on him supporting them.
Yeah. There's no one loves the Steelers as much as Jordan Babcock. Except for maybe Pittsburgh Dad. And here we go. I think Hunter Reeve's going to have a look this time on Hall. How long will Babcock stay behind? Will Hall make it easy on Babcock? There they go. Couple of mates making it easy. Very respectful out of Hall. He's not running up front tonight, so he's going to let the front runners go by without much trouble.
And so Nate Franklin and Austin Burdick are both onto pit road now. I think it was Nate running in 4th, so he's one of our higher placed runners to take their pit stop. And we'll have to see approximately where he'll come out.
Yeah, I'm going to have my eye on Kyle
time
Smith.
From those two.
Oh, and Kyle Smith gets by. Kyle Smith, the guy I had my eye on, the early pit stop. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it, but Kyle's had a lot of pace tonight with a good qualifying effort. Pitting early here and has quite the gap on Nate after the stop.
Yeah, long stop for Nate Franklin. He was stationary about 14.5 seconds. That's about 5 seconds longer. We've seen some other guys do. It was about 4 longer than Kyle Smith. So obviously some great laps has been put in after his pit stop by Kyle, but then also a slower stop from these guys, Austin Burdick and Nate Franklin, who are now very close together. And I reckon Nate Franklin fancies a move sometime soon.
Oh, yeah. Nate Franklin's not going to want to wait too long behind Mr. Burdick because Nate is sitting at the top of the points. This would be Nate's first championship. He needs as good a finish as he can get here, especially while some of the other big dogs have had trouble or missed the race altogether.
Yep. So out of that final corner, Austin slowed up some and let Nate Franklin through. So now Nate's in 8th, not considering the pit stops. But Kyle Smith is doing well to have jumped Nate there.
Yeah, and man, here we go. We see Bueller passing Antonucci here into 1. Let's put the camera on Hunter Reeve here in 2nd. Make sure him and Babcock get through clean. Our best battles on the track now are for 2nd and 3rd and 8th and 9th. So that's Hunter Reeve and Babcock and Burdick and Franklin. And so we'll keep you apprised of both. It looks like Franklin's got around Burdick, so that's starting to open up. Let's keep it here with Reeve and Babcock as they're approaching the lap car. I'm thinking if I'm Reeve, I pit now. I try to shake Babcock. I wonder if Babcock's hanging on because of the draft, or maybe he's saving something, but I think I pit now. I've lost Bueller. I'm in the traffic. But he stays out.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with your assessment, Alex, on that. You know, Jordan's been very smooth, but he hasn't had any... We haven't seen any huge flashes of speed. He's just been consistent, been there, and been in the draft. So if I was Hunter Reeve, yeah, you can imagine that he's lost Alex Bueller. So his best bet now is take that pit stop, put in some good laps, and try and find some clean track out there.
Right, you got to get the killer in lap and out lap. But now that he's got around this traffic, though, I think that you stay out. I think you push a little harder. Looks like the leader's caught up in traffic a bit. A lot. Quite a bit.
Yeah, he finds himself right behind Shane Cameron there for a few corners indeed. Alex Bueller now looks to the inside.
Oh, not happy. Gives a little gives a little juke. Oh, and here we go. Babcock, the first to blink.
Yep, Jordan Babcock from 3rd place goes onto pit road. He's going down the lane now. He's got a stall right towards the end of the lane. So he pulls in now. It's a bit of a slide, but he pulls it up exactly where he needs to. Looking at the stationary time, it's 5 seconds now, 7 seconds, 9 seconds. Still there, and he goes. That is 10.7 seconds stationary. That's a shorter stop. That's pretty good. Where is he going to come out? Definitely ahead of Kyle Smith.
Yeah, so now the guys at the front are the ones that haven't pit. We have Bueller and Reeve, the two that started on the front row, but also Fawcett and Alvarez. They're a little bit farther back. Fawcett about 15 seconds off the leader. So we have 4 cars that haven't pit yet.
Bueller's onto the lane now. Our leader comes into the pit.
Oh, and so is Reeve. So they are covering Babcock's move. Let's see what if Babcock's able to get around Reeve here. Let's ride along with Babcock. All right, as Babcock works here through the final corner, he's got his eyes fixed right on the pit exit. There, he sees the blue car of Bueller coming out. Where's the pink car? He's going to get around the pink one. Yeah, here we go. Jordan into turn 1. P2 has the leader in his sights. I think he made up a little bit of time on Bueller.
Well, there's not a whole lot of difference in pit lane times between these guys, although Jordan Babcock was slightly quicker. I think he's just had a good in-lap and a good out-lap, and that's what's critical.
Yeah, that's just like we were talking, you know. You have to nail the in and the out laps if you're going to be successful here in these pit stop races. And, you know, if we go back and ride along with Hunter Reeve, just to visually see the gap that now exists. He was in front of Babcock before the stop. Now he can barely see him out the window.
Yep, and they've got a lapped car of Jason Schmaus between them as well. Hunter Reeve, I think the big loser through that pit stop sequence there.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. And, you know, it's not like his times are that far off. A little slower on the lane, about the same stopped, but add it all together, and somehow he's the big loser.
Yep, that's the few key points, you know, the lane time, the in-lap, the out-lap, and I think Jordan Babcock's just the one who's gotten all 3 of those together. He might have just pitted at exactly the right time.
Well, so now let's take a look here at Fawcett. He's our leader. How long can he go on gas? Fawcett with the black and white huge-ass livery. Typically, but this week with the unsponsored car, so maybe something happened to his primary car and they just weren't able to get the backup wrapped in time. So good to see the 94 though having a strong run here tonight. He's got a 3-second lead over Alvarez. Alvarez is a little quicker at this point. I have to believe that this might be a good time for Fawcett to go ahead, come to the lane, give his tires you know, maybe just 10 seconds to cool off. Not going to be stopped for a long time, but every little bit might help at this point.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have sort of come out of their pit stop and been very quick, as if there is a slight cooling effect going down the lane. Let's have a look at Kyle Smith, though, because Nate Franklin is looking at putting a move on him. This is for 6th place, potentially 4th after the pit stops rattle out. Nate Franklin goes to the inside of this very difficult corner, and it looks like he has cleared Kyle Smith. That will, I think, effectively be for 4th place as Antonio Alvarez comes into the pits from 2nd place. There's only Andrew Fawcett ahead of these guys now yet to pit. So Antonio could come out somewhere good after his pit stop. Both of them...
right, running wide there, yeah.
And Kyle Smith.
It looks like Smith's got his foot in it. Never lift Smith.
Could go to the inside here at the
there and he does.
He does. Very late on the brakes from Nate Franklin, but Kyle holds the inside, and he's back through into what's 5th place, and will probably be 4th place.
And here comes Burdick.
Yeah, Burdick is a big winner out of these two. Now, these 3 guys are all close together for what will be 4th place.
Yeah, and so that just shows you, kids, never lift. When you're off in the grass, Smith teaching you that if you never lift, it sometimes works. So, right there.
A long stop for Antonio Alvarez. He comes out in 8th place as Andrew Fawcett pits from the lead. Our last car to pit is Andrew Fawcett. He's down on the lane now. Yeah,
and Fawcett locking up the rear tires, getting all he can into the stop. Doesn't have to back up at all, so perfect slide to a stop. Oh, and he lights him up on the way out. Very quick stop.
Yeah, quick stop indeed.
8.6 seconds.
Is he going to be ahead of Kyle
Oh,
Smith?
here we go. This is going to be exciting.
So he joins this train now. Andrew Fawcett leads Kyle Smith, leads Nate Franklin, Austin Burdick right there, and Antonio Alvarez a few car lengths back. But for fourth place now, after these pit stops, these four guys are all close together, and this is our best race on track right now.
Yeah, it would be hard to top this. A four-car battle, four position.
Nate Franklin is right behind Kyle Smith, but he doesn't stick his nose down the inside. Tries to get a better run over the hill.
Oh,
big wiggly moment.
Franklin turns him.
Didn't see any contact. I just saw a wiggly moment over the crest there.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
That's cost Kyle Smith, regardless of what caused it. So Kyle Smith loses the place to those guys, and Antonio Alvarez comes through as well. So now it's just a three-car battle for fourth place there. Andrew Fawcett now leading, Nate Franklin leading Austin Burdick. A replay of Kyle Smith. See what happened to him.
Yeah, and sorry to all you 24 fans there. Looks like, the 549 just lost it all by himself. The 24 didn't have any part of that. Apologies to the 24 team. So back up here, though, live, we have the 94 leading the 24 and the 97. Fawcett, I wonder, does he have enough gas, David?
Well, he was the shortest stop time I've seen out there. You know, a lot of these guys taking about 11.
But he had to. He had to. He wouldn't be in the mix without it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's 8.5 seconds of fuel. He's going to be cutting it close, but because he was out so long, he has the advantage of knowing more.
He has to have good numbers. Yeah, he should have a
how many
larger
laps
sample.
would remain.
Right.
I think Nate Franklin might be the quicker car right now. So this will be close between these two. Nate has been closing it up just a little bit, 3/10 on that last lap. Maybe Nate Franklin fancies he can get the move done on track, and Andrew Fawcett is hoping his pit lane tactics, and he he'll be able to hold on to his gains from there.
Yeah, Nate Franklin, the third fastest car on the track right now, except for the top two. He's right there in speed.
Yeah, so with 8 laps to go when these guys cross the line next, I think Nate Franklin has plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how all this plays out.
Was a bit wide.
Oh, here we go. A good run.
Good run by Nate Franklin. He looks to the inside. He gets the overlap now. They head towards the braking zone.
Oh,
Nate
yeah.
will be late on the brakes. Indeed, he is.
There he goes. Oh, he kind of slides out, though.
Burdick
That
comes down
allows
the
Burdick to
inside.
get past
loses 2
Fawcett.
places.
I think Fawcett needs to be smart here. Let Burdick go. Let Burdick fight him and try to do the same maneuver back. If he fights Burdick, then Franklin gets away.
Indeed, that's right, Alex.
So, but it looks like Fawcett, maybe flat spotted a tire or something, really just starting to fall back and out of the fight here.
So all of a sudden, we've got a few other battles going on as well, like Ryan.
Oh, wow, the screen is lit up. Wow.
Yeah, all of a sudden, after the pit stops, everyone's sort of concertinaed back up again, and now Ryan Verhulst is trying to hold off Mark Antonucci.
Yeah, for 10th and 11th.
He's going to replay Shane Cameron.
Shane Cameron just pulled over just to let the leaders by, it looks like.
Respectful from him. Now, Kyle Smith was also trying to catch Antonio Alvarez after Kyle's mistake, but I think Mark Antonucci behind Ryan Verhulst could... a very long stop for Mark Antonucci might have let Ryan get ahead. Ryan, the wily competitor, weaving back and forth, trying to break the draft, as he is very well known to do. So I think Mark Antonucci might be the quicker car, but it was the shorter pit stop from Ryan's got him ahead. And Ryan runs very wide.
Yeah, and Antonucci looking inside there. But Verhulst making the car very wide. These are small race cars, but the Minnesota racer able to make his car very wide tonight.
A bit of back and forth between those guys. Up the front, those three that we were looking at, they've sort of spread out. Alex Bueller's pulled now 7 seconds on Jordan Babcock, who's then got about 3 seconds on Hunter Reeve. We've got that brilliant battle for 4th place. Nate Franklin leads Austin Burdick, leads Andrew Fawcett.
Yeah.
And
let's keep the camera there.
Yeah, I think we'll move back up there for sure.
Yeah, because Burdick is all over Franklin at this point. Let's ride along with Burdick and see if he can do something here. We have this lap car up ahead. Is this going to foil the plans of Franklin?
Yeah, that's John Patrick indeed. So Nate Franklin's catching him. Austin Burdick is staying right on the tail of Nate Franklin. I think JP's a respectful racer. He might let them go down the straight here. Indeed, he does. He pulls to the right-hand side, lifts a little bit out of the throttle.
Yeah, and Burdick had to lift too. Burdick had to get out of it a little bit there. Ran just a touch wide. That allows Franklin to really open up this gap as we got about 5 laps to go here.
Yep, it will be 5 to go.
So as we get down here towards the end of the running, just looking for the Dickens Cider hard charger of the race, and I think that's going to be down in P16. Justin Hall up 5 positions from where he started. And he's just ahead of where these guys are. So could we ride along with the hard charger and maybe look back? Can we do a rear bumper cam?
Well, our great production team have managed to pull that up for us, so congratulations to them. It's a great view we're going to have.
And so, as Hall runs wide, he is going to provide us the camera base here for Franklin and Burdick.
And that's what makes Justin Hall our hard charger, though, is that that's absolute commitment. Even if he got a bit squirrely, a bit too much commitment, but you can't fault him for trying.
Nah, he kept his foot in it sounded like. All right, so congratulations to Justin Hall. I think he's got that tied up as long as he doesn't fall back any. And it looks like he's got about a 4-second lead with 4 laps to go. I'd say he has that one all tied up. Only one that could maybe get him is Beeman. Oh, there we go! Oh, no!
Curse of the camera car. He gets squirrely over that crest, overcorrects into the wall, and that is massive damage. But Justin Hall, he carries on, but that was a huge impact.
All right, let's jump ahead. Let's get back. Let's get up there with Burdick. Burdick and Franklin able to get through without problems. That's amazing. I think Hall will be glad that he did not impact the top of the running order here. As we see Fawcett coming through turn 1 with the spinning car rejoining. And it looks like Shane Cameron's in the grass up here near turn 3 or 4.
Yeah, crazy stuff going on out there. Lots and lots of action. And Austin Burdick is still right on the rear bumper of Nate Franklin. Nate also can't afford to make any mistakes right now, as we're going to have... They're going to get 2 laps to go when they cross the line next. So 1.5 minutes left. This is really getting to the pointy end of this race.
Right, so keep your David, you keep your eyes on this battle. And if the pass starts to happen, we'll break in. But at the beginning of the next lap, we'll probably cut to our leader.
Yep, so still eyes on this ferocious battle. For
and the 97 gets a little bit too much curb, it looked like.
Yep. Austin Burdick trying to cut that corner really close, but these cars don't like too much curb, and I don't think that's helped him stay close to Nate Franklin.
Yeah, he's just getting desperate, starting to overdrive it, going up against a veteran like Nate. You know, this is a great run though for the young Burdick. 5th place. I think this has got to be a career best.
It's not a bad result at all, and it's where he started the race, so no positions gained but no positions lost. You can't blame that too bad when you start within the top 5. That's an okay result.
All right, so let's jump up here with our leader. He's in the sandwich here for the 10th and 11th place battle. He's trying to get around Verhulst here on the last lap. Verhulst trying to make sure he maintains the gap over Antonucci. So Verhulst giving nothing up.
Bueller has taken the white flag and will get the checkered flag next time.
Oh, Antonucci through the grass. Able to keep it going, though, as Bueller just going to ride here. Got a big gap. And that's Alexander Bueller, your Driftmeister, your winner tonight for Season 22, Round 7 at Lime Rock. Alexander Bueller out of the Florida Club. And let's move the camera back to Jordan Babcock. A very good run for P2 Babcock. Great points haul.
Indeed. And then Hunter Reeve,
best road finish.
Potentially. And then Hunter Reeve in 3rd place, started from pole, but just didn't quite work it out through the pit stops. Grabs 3rd place. And Nate Franklin's coming up across the line now for 4th. Up 2 positions for him. Quite a good race. He wins that pack that we had going on. He comes across the line ahead of Austin Burdick. And Andrew Fawcett takes 6th place. 7th and 8th was a ferocious battle towards the end there for Antonio Alvarez and Kyle Smith. We didn't quite get to watch enough of it, but I guess that's the problem of having too much action. The 9th place, Philip Linden, good on him, and 10th is that Ryan Verhulst, our last car on the lead lap.
All right, so let me run down to the paddock real quick and see if I can get get some of these podium finishers to talk to us.
All right, so as he goes off, I'll run down the order a teeny bit further. 11th, Mark Antonucci. 12th, Dan Bartz. 13th, Brian Beeman. 14th, Alex Coffard. 15th, John Patrick. 16th, our hard charger, Justin Hall. And then 17th was Matthew Wild. 18th, Justin Lamons. 19th, Tyler Pelton.
Here in the booth, we have Hunter Reeve with us.
Hello.
How you doing, Hunter? Glad you could join us. Great run tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I just think I just drove it a little too much and lost my tires there towards the end.
Yeah, it looked like the biggest difference was during the pit stops. Did you have trouble there on your in and out laps?
Yeah, I think I just got into some traffic at the wrong time. There was about 2 or 3 cars when I came out of the pit. So,
well, great run tonight. You really you fought with some of the best in the league of Bueller and Babcock, and a podium finish here in the RIL is nothing to hang your head about. So, congratulations.
Yeah, actually, it's I think it's my best in the RIL so far.
Well, we're glad we could see it and be here with you tonight. So, congratulations. That's your 3rd place finisher, Hunter Reeve. Jordan Babcock, do you got a copy?
Loud and clear, pal. Over.
Hey, congratulations. Good run tonight, man. Is this your best road race result?
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's awesome. P2 with a great run tonight. We thought that maybe you would get dropped during the pit stops, but you ended up dropping Hunter. So you were the one holding a little bit of pace back from the other guys.
Yeah, once Bueller started pulling away from Hunter, I knew it was Hunter who was slowing everybody down because I was on Bueller's ass when he was in 2nd. So just figured I'd try and get in the pits before he did and pray.
Yeah, really good job there on the in and the out laps. It looked like you were able to roll 1 and 2 better than anyone else. Do you feel like that was the difference tonight for you?
Yeah, it's 1.5 camber on the left, 0.7 on the right. I think that's what did it there.
Well, thanks for sharing your secrets with us, Jordan, and congratulations on a great run and a career best finish.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's Jordan Babcock, your 2nd place finisher tonight. And the elusive Driftmeister himself, Alexander Bueller. Do you have a moment? Can you share a few words with us after your win?
Oh, the slippery snipper gets away from us. Our race winner does not seem like he wants to have a word.
Well, I guess that's his, as Bobby Brown said, it's his prerogative. But a great run tonight by the slippery snipper.
Yep, indeed. Once he got through, he was away, and I think he won by about 10 seconds almost. So great turn of pace from him, really. And just once he got through for the lead, he was away.
Yeah, it looked like he had probably a quarter second a lap pace advantage on the rest of the field. So once he got through, he just walked away. But great racing up and down through the field. I felt like the Legend put on a wonderful show tonight.
Yeah, it's a great little car, and Jordan Babcock telling us about his asymmetric sort of right hand oval setup that he had going on, and I think the draft gave us some good racing without being overpowered, and guys could still defend, and just a little bit of strategy, sort of let the field spread out, but then brought it back close for some good battles right at the end.
Yeah, and I couldn't be happier, with the excitement that we saw on the screen. Sometimes they get to be a bit of a snooze, and tonight definitely was not that. We did not know what was going to happen all the way until the finish. Great battles up and down through the field. Big championship implications, though, with some of our front runners not running so well.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not completely abreast of what the championship standings were, but definitely some of our guys like Hunter Reeve and Jordan Babcock, and as well as Nate Franklin, good results for them means good points, and that'll be keeping them high in the championship standings ahead of... Do you know what our next race is in this league, Alex?
I'm not sure.
Me neither, but I'm sure...
I'm checking right now. Hold on, my producer is talking to me. It looks like we're going to be a multi-class race at Monza Oval left turn. It's going to feature the Pro Mazda and the Street Stocks. It'll be a fixed setup event, so that should be exciting. Multi-class oval is something you rarely see. It's one of the things that you get here in the RIL that you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, indeed. That will be one to watch, and hopefully we'll get some of our audience back to tune in for that one in 1 week's time.
Right, and so just 2 rounds to go. After that will be the Laguna Seca round with the V8 supercar. That one will be, our final round, a very tricky car at a very tricky track. So hope you all join us for the next 2 weeks, and we'll crown a champion in just 2 weeks' time. So thanks again for joining us for round 7. I'm Alex Albert. That's David Haynes. And the man behind the cameras is Michael Derby. We couldn't do it without him. So thanks again to everyone. And we'll see you next week. Good night.